So I begin the process first. I ordered three very large canvases, 36 by 48 to be exact. And here it is here's the one I'm going to work with on my table. And here's the photo that I'm going to be painting. So I sectioned it into 3 rows by 4 columns. And then I took that and I transferred that, as you can see, onto my canvas. So now I have 3 rows with 4 columns. So my next step is to work and to sketch out. I want to sketch out the general proportions. And once I have that sketched, then I will begin painting. I'm going to use acrylics. We'll see. Wish me luck. All right, I have it all sketched out. You can see that the sky is kind of empty. Then there's the forest and the mountains beyond, the riverbank and the river, the figure just kind of a mock-up, and then the foreground, which is the riverbank on the sandy shore. So take a look so you can see that it's pretty proportioned. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on figuring out my palette. I'm not going to worry about any other details at this point. Okay. Okay, so all I've been doing is sorting, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some collage. I'm going to put some ephemera down in certain places, and I'll film that later. But I've got my palette, my paint palette all sorted out now. It's all sorted. Everything's ready to go. I've mixed my river paint and my foreground paint, but I'm not going to start painting yet. I'm going to show you something. Sorry. You see how I made a couple of tests right there with colors here in here. Well, you know what that did? That helped me feel good about starting, it put the first mark down. And I also sketched out a little bit more the figure. See? Oh, I can't do this holding it upside down. But I sketched him out a little bit more. So now I'm ready to begin collage work. Hello, it's me again. Okay, so I want to tell you one thing. First of all, I'm doing this on the hottest day of the summer. I look a mess. I know that I'm sweating because I don't want to put my fan on because it'll blow all my collage pages that I've just laid out all over the place. So what I wanted to do was just share with you what I'm doing now. I have my sandy bank all laid out. I'm being very specific about it. And so I'm going to gel it down. Ugh, let me get this tight. Okay, there we go. And so I'm just going to gel it down, of course, with Liquitex gel medium. All right, and I use matte. I'm using the matte because I don't want a lot of gloss and glare at this point. So I'm just taking a craft brush. So I'm just gonna, what I did also was I took a picture of each section because the sandy bank goes all the way over here and it's neutral colors. Now, so I'm just gonna glue this down, let it all dry before I even start painting over it and putting in my detail. And I'm gonna do the same thing for part of the river. I'll do it for part of the foreground. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna wrap my ephemera collage, kind of like it's swooping down from about a third at the top of the canvas, swooping around, and just the sound will carry over. And then in this little corner, I'm gonna have a fun little signature thing. So what I'll do is I will just glue down the closest part so you can see what I'm doing here. I have some bottles of paint in the way. Let me move those out. So you can see right here what I'm doing. Right, so you know collage work, right? So I'm just gonna pick up a few items and move them out of the way. And I'm going to, and I'm working with tea bags right now, so I don't need to worry about getting them geared up. But I'm gonna bring my collage work over the sides so that it gives you the illusion that this is a much bigger environment than just the canvas, right? That's what we like to do, is give illusions that things are much bigger than they appear. These are all rice paper. I'm using rice paper and tea bags on this corner. And then I'm just using the top portion of a dandelion. See? Oh shoot, I bet I'm gonna get dinged. Let me turn off my music one quick second. I have music playing in the background and I don't want to get dinged for copyright. I hope that doesn't get dinged because I can't repeat this. This is a one of a kind. Oh gosh, I don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. I might have to do a voiceover in that little section. We'll see. I'll know soon enough. Darn it. All right. And then so now this part of my collage work is completely dry. And I will let this completely dry before I do anything else on it, okay? And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna collage with gel down that whole side over there, which you don't really need to see me do. So I will be back.
Hello and welcome back. It's me, Kisma, and it's been a couple of days. I let the canvas completely dry once I completed all of the collage areas, and now I have mixed together some of the gesso and water into a wash. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to wash over those areas. And so it takes the vibrancy of the colors and it just sort of mutes them and it puts it into the background so that when I sketch over it next after it all dries and paints, the colors don't fight. So that's all I'm doing now. And I'm not so worried about the brush strokes. I'm just going everywhere. I just want to cover this. And when it dries, it won't dry clear, but it will definitely, you'll still see the collage pieces through the gesso finish, but it will definitely tone it all down. Kind of unifies it a little bit. And wherever I had, I had a couple of pieces on here that I used watercolor ink on from previous projects, and so they bled, the turquoise, you can see that. So this fixes it kind of, it just makes it all stable, a little more stable. So my next step, I'm going to take my Stabilo pencil when this completely dries, and I'll sketch it all out again and add some shading before I even begin to paint. I'll probably put that on time-lapse also, and maybe I'll try and get the video so that it's closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so the lighting was not good in here today. What I filmed, the glare was on the canvas was just too much. But if you see what I have started to do is after you saw me use my Stabilo and begin to outline, and I've only done it for that section. I haven't done it over here because then I decided I wanted to begin painting the foreground. So that's what I've done. And as you can see, that's just a base coat, that's a first coat, and I used some of the green, the leftover green, to go up into the trees and into the water, and just to begin to mix and unify what I've got going here. So the process continues, and I figure that what will happen is I will just videotape as I make progress. Okay, you can see that I got really kind of busy and into this and forgot to videotape. But I've done the base of the forest now with 3 different colors of green, and I did the sky. And what I'm going to do now, next, is I'm going to add some texture to the sky. I'm going to use a stencil and texture paste and raise up the sky clouds. So hi, so I'm done with the sky, I'm letting it dry now. I'll probably let it dry over for the rest of today, and I won't work on that part of the painting. But right now I'm feeling a need. I don't know how well you can see it, but the shoreline I feel is too dark, too pronounced. So I'm going to go over that again with a gesso wash. So that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm giving you all my tips, all my secrets, but I think it's sometimes the only way to really express just what goes into a painting. So I've got a gesso wash here again. It's just really soupy. It's what some of the artists today say juicy. I got it nice and juicy. And that's the one thing about being an artist, right, when you're creating, and I'm not a really experienced artist, I'm just enjoying the process and learning as I do it. And one of the things that I have learned is that when we paint, it's all about layers. It's about doing something and putting it in the background and covering it up and pulling it back out, and not being afraid to explore and change your mind as you're creating. All right, so at this time I'm just going to really let this all settle and dry up, and I'll come back to it tomorrow or the next day and decide what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I'm at a place where I'm trying to decide if I want to do any type of embellishment with a little more collage work on top of the mixed media. Now I have ephemera layering on the bottom of things. Then I did acrylic. I did stencil, texture paste with the stencil. I have done added watercolor to give him his sense that he is flowing away, that he's not permanent, of course, that everything else is permanent, but like the river, a human is not permanent, so he has to let go and flow like a river. And then, of course, I added some graphite chalks, greens, blues, black, along with my charcoal pencil. I added some, you probably can't see it up here in the corner, but I darkened the mountain range quite a bit on this side, because this side is under the shadow. The light is actually the setting sun, and it is coming this way, but this part of it is the darkest part. And then this side of the canvas is the reflection of the light and the lightest part. But I'm really trying to decide. I really like this image here that is, it's Mother Earth, basically, rising up a woman. She's very distorted. Is her head at this end? Is her head at that end? Here's a hand of her sticking up. We can see her breasts here, but it looks like arms over here. It doesn't look like legs. It's very distorted. And then, of course, all the greenery. I really like the idea of adding it in here across on the bank where he's looking, as if this is not a fantasy, of course, but just a reality that Mother Earth is alive and very effervescent and awake, and that she's there for us. And then I put some tissue paper that would, of course, disappear and kind of meld into the painting once I add it with gel, if I do. And then I like this tissue paper
to put down here at his feet, which also will kind of disappear, and all we'll see is the hints of the color coming up. And I've been playing around with these, you know, that this is the key of life. And I might put those over here where I've got some of the reflection of the setting sun, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. And then the last thing I have is some bank over there that's a collage piece, but I don't know. I have to let it sit and kind of study it. I did a watercolor wash, light baby blue over the clouds. It softened them. They're not so in your face kind of thing anymore. They've even though this is not very clear representation, the light's hitting them and picking up on it. But I'm not so sure how much more I'm going to do. I want to do a little more to the river, but I don't want to distort that anymore. Anyways, here's where I'm at. So we'll see where I'm going to go next with this.
Hello. Well, here we are, and today I just finished the painting, and I'm going to show you the last little bit, but I put the signature on it just now, and I know there's quite a bit that I didn't share with you on the film, but you can't share everything, right? So I'm going to fast film or time elapse the film so you can see how I'm going to personalize this on the back side of the canvas, and then I will go over the canvas with you. But before I stop and do that, I just want you to see that it is truly finished. And right there, oh, you can't see that either. Let's see if I can zoom in. Right there's my signature. All right, so here we go. I'm going to stop this and put it into fast motion to do the signature. Okay, here it is. I'm all finished as of today. Today is November 2nd, and so I'm gonna go in close and show you just a few little details. Sorry for the wobbly camera because I'm holding it, but I'll start on this side, and as you know, that's all the trees, the forest, the mountains, down into the water, and the landscape below is all collage. Then I added the stencil texture pasting for the clouds, and I brought in the figure, and I wanted him to be merging with the earth, so I did a layer of stenciling to show that he's flowing. And down there is my little signature, and there you have it. So it's a true mixed media piece with acrylics, pastels, graphite, what else? Graphite texture, pashkas, collage, and some watercolor. Okay. Either he's gonna like it or he's gonna hate it. That's the way of art.